Hello everyone, Caleb Dansie here, and today we're talking about home remodeling, specifically kitchens. So if you have a kitchen that you feel like is exhausting to work in, cumbersome to work in, or just frustrating, there are some things that we do and that you can do to make sure that when you remodel your kitchen, it's going to have a really good layout and be very comfortable to work in. So I wanted to talk to you today about what we do. And the first thing that we do when we're planning a kitchen is we ask a lot of questions to our customer about how they're going to use the kitchen. It's the most important thing about remodeling and getting a really good kitchen in your home. So there are a lot of questions, and some of them are thinking about things like, how am I going to use the space? How many people are going to be working in this space together? How often are we going to be doing this? What types of food are we going to make on a regular basis? And what are the ingredients to those food? And how much time does it take to make those menu items? And all these kind of questions. So when we have a good understanding of how the kitchen will be used, we can move on to what we call the work triangle. So the work triangle is the relationship between the fridge, the sink, and the stove. And you measure the distance between each of these from the center of each one. So over here on this sink, we would measure from right here in the middle of the sink, right at the countertop. And then if we're going to measure over to the stove, that would come across here to the center point of the stove. And then from there, we'd measure to the center of the fridge, which is right over here. And then back over to the center of the sink. So the rule to the triangle is that no one side of the triangle should be less than 4 feet. At the same time, no one side should be greater than 9 feet. And the total sum of the perimeter shouldn't be more than 26 feet or less than 12 feet. So these rules, I'm calling them rules, they're really guidelines. They help create a kitchen that isn't too small and cramped or too large and exhausting to walk back and forth as you're working in the kitchen. So if you have a larger kitchen, you can actually incorporate 2 work triangles. And that's not to say you have to have 2 fridges and 2 stoves. The triangles can overlap, but a lot of people choose to have 2 sinks. And that is really helpful if you have a prep sink and a cleanup sink. So that you can be preparing food and cleaning up at the same time, have 2 people working, not interfering with each other, but working really well in tandem. So those are some of the tips that we use and the guidelines that we use as we're laying out a kitchen in a remodeling situation. You can also apply this to a new home construction, new build, or a basement finish as well, and do that. So if you're building, though, with the basement finishes, if you're building a kitchenette where it's just maybe a bar on one wall, these rules don't apply, and we'll have another video on how to lay out those type of kitchens coming up soon. So if you're looking to remodel your kitchen and you're in the Salt Lake and Utah County areas, Harriman, Utah, Riverton, Utah, or the surrounding area, you can reach out to us on our website, schedule a consultation, request a consultation. There's a button there on our website. You can do that, and we'll reach right back out to you. We're excited to talk to you. So thank you for your time today, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.